Hey YouTube, Flyer556 here. I'm going to do a video today on my Smith & Wesson Model 629 44 Magnum. I'm going to do this one for a few reasons. First, it's a super cool gun. Second, I see prices going way up on classic revolvers. I'm seeing 2, 3, and sometimes up to 4 times the value in a short time period. Third, to let anyone considering buying one of these a little bit about it. And fourth, a little of some of the ammo that it's capable of shooting. And last, what I think about it. I purchased this firearm in late 1999 from a place called Ray's Sport Shop, formerly in North Plainfield, New Jersey. I paid around $550 for it. Now, January 2014, I'm seeing similar versions of it selling used on Gunbroker and other sites for up to 3 and 4 times what I paid for it just 16 years later. I always wanted one of these, so one day I went out and got one. It's the first handgun I ever purchased. No regrets. I've probably fired this gun anywhere between 2, 3, maybe even 3,500 times with a variety of different types of ammo. I'll go over some of the ammo a little later. Now, just going to show you the other side so you get to see both sides of it here. Let me turn it around. Okay. Now, a little bit about the history of this famous firearm. The Smith & Wesson Model 29 is a 6-shot double-action revolver chambered for the .44 Magnum cartridge. It's manufactured by the U.S. company Smith & Wesson. It was made famous and still is most often associated with the star character Dirty Harry, known as Inspector Callahan, from the Dirty Harry series of films starring Clint Eastwood. He used the 6-inch blued version in the movie. This one, mine, is an 8 3/8 inch barrel on a stainless steel frame. The Model 29 was offered with a 3-inch, 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch, 6.5 inch, 8 3/8, which is what you see here, and later a 10 5/8 inch barrel. Other barrel lengths were available either by special order from Smith & Wesson's custom shop or custom built by gunsmiths. Finish options were available in a highly polished blued or nickel plated surface. Okay, a little history about this thing. Smith & Wesson's production of a large end frame revolver in .44 Magnum began in 1955. The Model 29 designation was applied in 1957. It remained primarily the province of handgun enthusiasts and some law enforcement personnel and hunters until 1971, when Clint Eastwood made it famous as the most powerful handgun in the world. He did this in the movie Dirty Harry. After the movie's release, retailers had trouble keeping the Model 29 on the shelf. At the time of its introduction, the Model 29 was the most powerful production handgun in the world. Elmer Keefe's, good old Elmer, if it wasn't for him, this thing might not be sitting here today. Elmer Keefe's achievements in maximizing the power and performance of the .44 Special was the inspiration and driving force behind the introduction of the .44 Magnum by Smith & Wesson. The Model 29 will chamber and fire .44 Special cartridges, as the .44 Magnum was developed from the .44 Special. The Magnum is a case slightly longer to prevent Magnum rounds from being chambered and fired in handguns chambered for the .44 Special. I'll show you a little bit about that later. In the late 1990s, Smith & Wesson discontinued production of many models of revolvers, including the basic Model 29. Variants. The original Model 29 was superseded by the 29-1 in 1960. with modifications made to the ejector rod screw. The Model 29-2 replaced it the following year with one screw that had secured the cylinder stop spring being deleted. These barrel lengths were shortened from 6.5 to 6 inch in 1979. These two versions are known as pinned and recessed. Pin means that the barrels are screwed in and additionally secured by a pin driven through the frame and a notch in the barrel. Recessed denotes the rear of the bored cylinder holes being recessed, so that when loaded the cartridge rims are fully enclosed by the cylinder. In 1982, the cost-cutting Model 29-3 dropped recessed cylinders and pin barrels for what's known as crushed fit barrels. The Dash 4 and Dash 5 produced from 1988 to 1990 respectively had changes to improve durability for heavy use. In 1994, the 29-6 begun production, now fitted as standard with rubber monogrips to replace the previous wooden items. Standard tapped holes also being provided for attaching scope mounts. The 29-7 started production in 1998 with changes to the locking mechanism, the firing pins attachment, and a hammer and trigger produced with a metal injection molding process. The Model 629, introduced in 1978, the Smith & Wesson Model 629 is a stainless steel version of the Model 29. That's what this one is here that I own. This one has an 8 3/8 inch barrel. The 629 model, which is what we're looking at here, design derives from the Smith & Wesson's practice of denoting a stainless steel version of one of their already existing designs by placing a 6 in front of the model number of the original weapon. The 629 Classic variant features a full-length barrel underlug. Other variants include the 629 Stealth Hunter. This one is the 629 Smith & Wesson 44 Magnum and is still currently made today. Okay, that's pretty much the history on this thing. I'm going to go over a little bit on the ammo now that this thing is capable of shooting. Just to let you guys know, it's got a wide variety of ammo out there that you can shoot in this gun. Let me go around the other side here so I can show you a little bit about some of the ammo here. As I mentioned before, the Smith & Wesson 44 Magnum is capable of shooting the 44 Special and the 44 Magnum. Any of these here that you see. The Magnum was developed, as I said before, from the 44 Special. The only difference in the two cartridges, I'll show you here. That's a 44 Special. This is a 44 Magnum. I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see a little better. As you can see, the 44 Mag, let me focus this here. Okay, that looks good. The 44 Mag case is approximately 1/16 of an inch longer than the 44 Special. There's a reason for this. This way you can't take a 44 Mag cartridge and drop it into a 44 Special chambered gun. It would blow it to pieces. That's why they did that. Otherwise, the rounds are very, very similar, as one came from another. I'm going to zoom back out now. Just want to show you the ammo primarily. Zoom in on that. Let me refocus here. That looks pretty good. Okay. A little more on the ammo. This here is your standard 44 Special. It's a hollow point, hollow soft point. Winchester 44 Special. That's what made it all happen, people. Right here. Then you move up to this one. This is a 44 Magnum. It's a hollow point, as you can see here. Copper jacket. It's a 240 grain bullet. Same as all of these here are pretty much all 240 except for these. That's that one. This is more of a hunting version. It's a real stopper from the way it was explained to me. This is a 250 grain full metal jacket hollow point right here. 44 mag. Winchester. And then when I got into reloading, I started loading the mags with these here. This is another 240 grain bullet. It's a flat nose. Makes a nice clean hole in your target. 240 grain. Plenty of weight to it. I like these. It's an affordable round that you can reload. These are pretty much similar. These are factory flatheads. Almost exactly the same as these here that I loaded. I showed you the difference pretty much in the size of the Magnum and the Special. Not much difference there. It's the 1/16 of an inch in case size. But to give you a better view of the size and the power of this gun, this here is a 9mm. I'm going to zoom in on that so you can see a little better the actual power that this thing has. And get that zoomed in. That looks pretty good. That's the 44 Special. That's the 44 mag. And this here is a standard 9mm Luger. So as you can see, it's 3 or 4 times the size. Big difference in power there. Big difference. Okay. As far as a review on it, I guess I could go over it briefly here. Sure I could. Let me zoom in, refocus here. Okay. You got your standard front blade sight. Nice sight. It's not adjustable. It's pinned. Smith & Wesson, as you can see. It's got a partial underlug. It did also come with the full lug. Myself, I didn't like that. I like this one better. Large cylinder there. Nice large cylinder there. You do have a fully adjustable rear sight for elevation and windage. These are rubber grips that I talked about in the history there that they evolved to. They used to have wooden ones. Now they come with this. Does absorb a lot of recoil because this gun does have a lot of power. They're pretty helpful. I understand why they did that. The wood does look nicer, but these really do take the recoil nicely. I guess that's about it. Pretty much it's a cool gun. I've shot this gun. I know it was the first gun I ever purchased as a handgun, but I've shot it far more than any other handgun I have because I really enjoy shooting this thing. It's definitely a shooter. Basically that's it. I just wanted to let you guys know what I think about it, and if you have one of these, take a look at what you paid for it when you bought it. Do a little research on it and look at what it's going for now. You might be really surprised. They really went up. And the older they are, the more they went up. Like I said, I bought this in late 1999. And I already see it going up 2, 3, some places sometimes up to 4 times the value that I paid for it. So just want to let you guys know a little bit about the gun, a little bit about the ammo. A little bit about how it's went up in value over a short time frame, and pretty much just to let you know a little bit about everything I can let you know about it. I guess that's about it for this video. Flyer 556 out.